Sup shitters, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out some tracks from an artist named Danjul. 3 to be precise, and we're going to switch over to YouTube where I've got them set up. So the first track we've got here is called Chapter of Love. We're just going to full screen it and we're going to hear and see what we think. There we go. I'm just going to make sure I've got my headphones on. And headphones are on, so, and go. Oh, that was kind of creepy, wasn't it? That wishy kind of wind sound. We got some candles. Someone walking in the darkness. Some piano. Very atmospheric. Oh. A choir. Strings. Like a Victorian gown. A garment.
My life began surrounded by darkness.
Ooh.
Yet I'm still determined to find my light. It took
very
many
theatrical,
years
isn't it?
to forgive all injected fears, torment, and exile.
That light delay, that is actually really dope. It adds to the atmosphere, doesn't it?
Before I share with you my greatest sacrifices, my heart, my truth, my origin.
Really killer intro. Chapter of Love. Sick. Really sick cinematography as well. Like, I typically take issue with the bars on the top and the bottom, but I think in this it actually feels like I'm watching a movie, so it's more than appropriate. There's a lot of anguish in this, isn't there? Oh. Oh. That was a pretty slick kick. Hey! The guy's got a fantastic voice. Lovely texture to it.
Should I close the book, the chapter of love?
Kind of reminds me of the late 90s, early 2000 boy band stuff combined with like the electro elements of present day like kind of pop music. It's a nice combination. This is incredibly professional, isn't it? Damn, man, that was smooth. The way he reaches those really high notes, those high notes. It's like a really effortless falsetto there. This guy's got really incredible technique. He makes it seem very easy to do what he's doing, when in fact it's actually quite difficult. I'm assuming this is the hook, right? That main message being repeated. Yep. And those kind of kind of strings being sort of put in there at the end of each sort of half to sort of indicate the change of section. It's those little things. You've got, there's a lot of tension here. There's a lot of tension throughout this in terms of the cinematography, in terms of like the colors that have been put into the video, in terms of the facial expressions, in terms of the music with the drums are very, very dramatic. Those strings, it's just everything here is very cohesive and together. And I appreciate that. Oh, we're simmering down. Nope. Like, watching this, it seems like something that like a major label would put out. It's incredibly, it's a very, it's just a really top tier experience I'm having with this. You know, often when I get sent music videos, you know, there is at least one element that kind of signals that maybe they didn't have the budget to do what they wanted to with it. But with this release here, there's a lot of love and a lot of expertise put on display here. And it's there's a lot of different elements at play here. Like, there's lots of little different instrumental parts. There's about a dozen different instruments in this. Usually with modern production, you get like 4 or 5 different sort of tracks in the song in the orchestration max. But I'm sure there's been a lot of time taken to really flesh out this musical concept and make it something that people can get lost in. It's a very sultry, sexy experience. It sells it well. A song about attraction and sort of relationships and connections, and sort of wondering whether you need to close that chapter on what you've gone through with the person you're with. You know, looking back on it, trying to figure, you know, these are big decisions to make, and I'm glad that we're exploring that in that song. And then track number 2, Danjul, Fated Destiny, visualize a video. Here we go. Let's listen to Fated Destiny. I visualize a video. If it's anything like the first track, I'm sure I'm gonna be blown away by this one. I'm loving those kind of bum 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 bum. What is it? What is the specific name for that? What is the specific name for that kind of melody there, that arpeggiator? Oh. A lot more of a much more modern kind of pop R&B vibe going from this one. I'm loving the vocal modulation on this track. I think like the effects chain they've got on him, as well as those kind of little bits of there's like a slight little bit of but I don't know, like the way that there's a portamento on his vocal melodies like that it's just little touches like that which match the nature of the drums and those synths and all that. Again, whoever's produced this has done a sensational job. Is this another hook? Alright. Like, Danjul is like the master of the anti-climax with his hooks, in the sense that usually people go heavy on the loudness of a chorus. It's like one of the heaviest parts of the song. But for Danjul, it's kept so low key in a way that really forces you to only pay attention to what he's singing. And I think that's incredibly important, especially when it's your first impression. You need to hear the important parts, and they've managed to succeed in that here. These are really cool little visualizer bits for like a forest and a hallway full of clocks. And now I've got statues in like a galaxy somewhere along, like a Greek kind of pantheon thing. Ah, times whenever you're not here with the clocks. Like, very, very cool melodies. I love how he's splitting those hooks in half to have two different sort of passages, two sort of different musical. I hate repeating the word melody twice in the space of like a couple of sentences. sequences. There we go. There's two different parts. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Two different parts. The way that he splits his verses and doesn't just sort of lazily just do the same sort of idea over and over again. He likes to play around with variety in his music. He knows that if he doesn't sort of keep his delivery fresh, it can kind of be a bit dry. Even in a song that's 3 minutes, it's fantastic. And I think that the stuff that he's talking about in this song, as well as in Chapter of Love, these are concepts, ideas that a lot of people will be able to connect and sort of be familiar with, which I think will further provide his success in his endeavors. And that piano is very wistful and soulful, and it kind of speaks of longing to try and find that woman that he's talking about, because that woman is just nowhere to be seen. He doesn't know where they're at. As opposed to the tension in a previous song, there's kind of a confusion in this one, but like a lonely confusion. That bass is potent. I love it a whole bunch. And I also love the fact that the drums and the bass are used sparingly in this. This is very much this is very poppy. It's very vocal centric. It's exactly what I expect if I want to listen to a mainstream artist nowadays and this sort of genre, and it fits the mold really well. Danjul can carry the song. Well done to him. It's not an easy thing to do. And those vocal harmonies at the end of each chorus part are dope too. That little bit extra oomph at the end. Damn, man, and the clock at the end. By Dios Studios, right? Dios Studios. That was Faded Destiny. Sick. So that's 2 for 2. I'm loving both so far. And then we've got Scarecrow, which is number 3. So let's listen to Scarecrow and we'll go back to the start and boom. Oh, these reversed samples. Again, very, very impressive production and in the whole with this. It's cool that a lot of his stuff is piano-centric. Like, not piano-centric, but like it includes these keys because they're such a... They can do so much. You know, pianos, you don't necessarily need to just use them as synthesizers nowadays in sort of modern electronic music. You can just have the low range, the high range. They can accompany so many different other instruments and they can carry a song by itself. But these like little sequences there, the in the background, just to add a little bit of diversity to this next part, and that clap which delayed. These are the small things that can really make a track special. Yeah, Scarecrow. Really hammering the title of that song into it, making it very obvious what the song is about. It's just, yeah, it's genius. It's genius in its simplicity. No need to overcomplicate it. Ooh, that was a nice little flourish that he did then. And there's not been too many of those as well. Again, I have to hand it to Danjul, or Danjul. That's my accent, Danjul. We say Danjul. No, do we say Danjul? I don't know. You know what I mean. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. I'm hoping it's one of the ones I've said. But it's just things like that, like those little flow, and the fact that he doesn't overdo it. He knows that the music is more important than his own sort of ability to sing is. It's he gets his message across without needing, and it's a shame when I do hear vocalists over ornament. They put their talents before the point of the song, and it becomes more about their ability to do really crazy passages than it is about the message.
I need some attention. You listen, don't mention how we became so close. Hello, scarecrow. Hello, scarecrow. Hello, scarecrow. Hello.
Gorgeous, beautiful texture to this. So gentle.
Why you so alone?
Just so I understand what the song is about, is this about like a scarecrow that protects people that is alone? Like they're scary and they're powerful and they keep people away, but at the same time, it's like you want to get to know them better to understand them. Is that the point of this? And we got the Pegasi flying along, man. Flying away. Why is he so alone? That is a question I have to ask. You don't have to be alone in this world, man. You can connect to people. It's okay. Scarecrow. Really? Danjul and Faisal Fermancia. Visual by Faisal Fermancia. Alright, phenomenal. That is basically my review of Danjul Scarecrow. To talk about it in the way that is as straight to the point and least sort of tangent-y as possible, I think we can both sort of, everyone watching this can sort of dig what has been put on display here by this incredibly talented artist. It's flawless. I can't critique it. It's at a level where he's such a phenomenal performer and he's got a team of producers that are on par with his ability to sing, that he puts out this material that, like, that's some of the best mastering that I've heard in the tracks that I've reviewed. Everything is so well balanced, and there's so many different little Easter eggs in each of the songs to kind of pay attention to that there's lots of replay value. You know, if you've got a few instruments, you get the main message in the first take. But when you add all these different delays and vocal sort of harmonies and all these little effects and all these samples and all these different instruments, you hear it's a different experience every time. And for people, it will be a different experience for them every time, because some people might pay attention to other elements than others. I think the most important thing for me when I listen to a track like this is to be able to understand what the vocalist is talking about, because it's great to have this level of professionalism in terms of the music making, in terms of the production, in terms of the vocalist's kind of delivery, like into their skill, but you need to understand the concept as well. And one thing, again, as I mentioned, that Danjul has sort of excelled at is the fact that he has I understood everything he was saying. I understood it. I could make sense of it. And he delivered it in a way that was simple, but that also wasn't patronizing. He didn't try to put everything in too much of a crazy shroud. There was enough sort of transparency there that you could dig it without needing to sift through it with a fine-tooth comb. And I love that. That was a great overall... It's a fantastic series of videos. I especially loved what happened with Chapter of Love, with the way they presented that. The shots were great, the colors were fantastic, the editing was pretty smooth and flawless, and the visuals were really interesting too. I loved how colorful they were. I loved the attention to detail that was put through by Danjul and his team and the producers and the video cinematographers and everyone involved. So I think that Danjul is going to succeed in future. I have no doubts about his ability to continue to put out fantastic music. And that is basically my review of his various tracks. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please do go check out his various social medias and his YouTube page. And yeah, subscribe if you enjoy his stuff. Stay cool, stay safe. Please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you next review. Spider hands out.